Hey YouTube, thanks for stopping by my channel. I decided to do a different kind of video than a food video this time, just for an informational reference. This is going to be entitled something like hospital bags. Now we all know that women who deliver babies, they tell them to bring their little Lamaze bag, and in it has comfort items for their admission and their delivery, just regular personal items that they would get by with. But we tend to not realize that anyone pretty much can have a trip to the emergency room, never mind an overnight visit in an emergency as an admission. And this happened to us. Oddly enough, I'm usually prepared for just about anything. My husband has a chronic illness. It could turn serious. It landed him in the emergency room last year twice, and surprisingly enough, one of those trips ended up into a overnight stay for an admission. He wasn't responding to the treatment. I had just dropped him off, come home to let the kids in from school, and found after calling that he wasn't coming home. I wasn't going to come and pick him up. He was going to stay overnight. So the hospital is a little bit of a distance from me. It's not too far, but it's far enough that it would be inconvenient to come back and forth to get items that he might need immediately. So we decided to make a go bag for him, just for the hospital stay. And it's basically for comfort. It's not so much medical necessity. So we'll just go through a couple of those items. To your right, we'll start at the right. Pair of flip-flops. Cheap dollar store pair of flip-flops. It's terrific if you're allowed to take a shower while you're admitted, and it provides a lot of comfort. That standing up clear container contains some chapstick. It also has an immersion heater. Usually hospitals don't like you to plug in electrical appliances, but my husband's careful with it, and people are always plugging in their cell phones and laptops and things anyway, so we decided that that would be a convenience for him. He could make a cup of tea or instant coffee and not bother the staff too much, because of course they'll feed you, but that's not their priority. To the right of that is a seasoning packet, which will go with the homemade MRE that I've made. This packet has soy sauce and hot sauce and duck sauce and a mayonnaise and a mustard packet in individual servings. They don't go bad. They are basically at room temperature and they're sealed, so that's just something we'll change it out to keep it fresh. But that's why I'm actually doing this video, is I came back to go through his MREs and see what's expired, what has to be freshened, and so on. Right to the front of it is a very tiny toiletry kit. It has the basics that my husband would need if he spent a night overnight before I could get to him and bring him items that he would need. It's a small toothbrush, toothpaste, razor, and so on. In front of that, or I should say to the left of that, is a pen, signing documents, so you always would need a pen. Right in back of that is hand sanitizer. It always helps you to have your own in the hospital, just in case you're touching anything or you use the restroom and you don't have water immediately available. To the back of that is instant coffee. My husband's a coffee drinker. To the left of that is some baby powder. Hospitals usually don't have baby powder, they have lotion. To the left of that is a nasal spray. My husband having sinus issues, that's a comfort item for him. To the left of that is a towel. When my husband's getting these treatments that he requires, he perspires a lot. He needs a towel just to mop his brow. Sometimes it's not available in the emergency room, and like we said, it's an emergency room. That's not their priority. He can have it right at bedside with him. In the back of that bubble wrapped item is a coffee mug. It's a cheap dollar store coffee mug. If it breaks, we're not going to get upset. It costs $1, but he can make any kind of coffee, tea, oatmeal, any cold drinks, anything like that. easily washable, rinsable, no problem. In the back of that he has, with that green label sticking out, that's a 3-pack of tissues, also a dollar store item. They do give you tissues in the hospital, but once again, that's not really their priority if you're in an emergency situation. Enough said about that. And to the other packet that has oatmeal on it, that I made as a homemade MRE. You can see other videos online for that. Basically what that is sometimes the hospital food is not your choice, or not your preference, or not to your liking. Of course they do feed you if you're admitted, but once again, that's not always their priority. If you're allowed to eat, and you're not having surgery, of course, you have to check with the hospital staff if you're allowed to eat. He's got things such as oatmeal, he's got granola bars, I put in a tuna pouch or salmon pouch, of course another packet of mayonnaise. He could make tuna fish. He's got crackers in there, granola bars, candy bar, anything that he could eat, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, if he didn't like the entrees that were offered. So that's a big comfort for him. He has control over what's going to happen to him. And if you can see the black bag to, let me pan over, to your left, that's the container that holds all these items. What it is a string backpack. It's kind of the cheap kind of one that if you had a kid in school and they had a field day or something like that, or some kind of bonus backpack. It's got strings on it for the straps, so it's not something that you would go hiking with, yet it's small enough, made of nylon, it's water resistant, and you could keep it at your bedside or even on your bed or your stretcher. He has instant access. All these items fit in it, and it's just something that we just keep on hand. We store it away in a closet. If he has this emergency, all I have to do is pick up this backpack, his iPod, and his e-reader, and go. We're on the move. So I don't have to think about, gee, what is he going to have? Is he going to be comfortable? It's all good. He also includes, which I won't show you, is a pair of undergarments and a fresh t-shirt. Like I said, he tends to perspire when he's getting these treatments, and he likes to be comfortable. If he wants to, he can change when I come to visit or pick him up, or bring a regular duffel bag. Then he'll have more access to clean clothes, and I can take the soiled ones home. Right now this isn't the size of a duffel bag. It's maybe 18 inches by a foot wide, and it will hold all of these items compactly with no problem. It's easy to carry. You're not, like I said, carrying a big luggage thing or a big duffel bag. The idea is that you can last 24 hours and not have an issue. He's even got some saline kind of eye drops, just the Visine kind of rinse, that if he's allowed to use it, he has his own. He doesn't have to wait for anybody to bring it to him. So in a panic, in a rush, I encourage anybody who's over the age of 40, or anyone who has a chronic illness that might land them in the hospital, to do this. Once a year I change out the food to see if it's okay, and just to go through it and see if it's fresh, which is why I, of course, went into this bag. But I thought I'd share it with you because it's an important issue, and it's one that you might not have thought of. We just certainly didn't think about it until it was a little too late. But now, you know, we can sleep in peace, and my husband knows he's going to be comfortable when he goes to the emergency room if there's ever another issue. So, rate, comment, and subscribe if you like this, or you have any other suggestions, and we'll see you next time. Bye.